The internet said Stefon Diggs walked away. The blog said the DNA results exposed everything. The viral tweets claimed Cardi B went live in tears, admitting the newborn wasn't Diggs after all. But here's the part nobody slowed down long enough to read. There were no DNA results, no confirmed test, no court-ordered proof. And Stefon Diggs? He didn't post a rant. He didn't issue a statement. He didn't unfollow Cardi. He didn't disappear. He showed up. Because just days after the viral claim exploded, just days after people swore the DNA test proved Offset was the father, Diggs pulled up to Cardi B's sold-out tour stop in Washington, D.C. Not alone. With his mother. With his brother. Front and center. And when the show ended, witnesses saw Cardi walk straight to his white sports car. She got in. They drove off together. That's the reaction. Not a tweet. Not a denial. Not a breakup announcement. Action? Now rewind. TMZ obtained a February 25th court order tied to Cardi and Offset's divorce proceedings. Offset had requested DNA testing for 2 children. The judge granted one request, but denied the test for the newborn, the baby widely understood to be Cardi and Stefon Diggs' son. Read that again. The court denied the DNA test for the newborn, meaning there are no official DNA test results for Diggs to react to. So how did the internet convince itself that results existed? And why did the narrative flip so fast? Because this story isn't just about paternity. It's about timing. It's about tension. It's about 3 high-profile lives colliding in public while legal paperwork quietly tells a different story. Offset recovering from a shooting, Cardi mid-divorce and mid-tour, Diggs facing breakup rumors after Super Bowl drama, and a viral tweet claiming Offset trapped me again? But here's the truth, buried in the chaos. No credible outlet has confirmed DNA results, proving Offset is the father of the newborn. And Stefon Diggs' only visible reaction so far? Showing up, standing beside her, leaving with her. No panic, no public meltdown, no walking away. So the real question isn't, how did Diggs react to the DNA results? It's this: why did the internet react to results that never existed? To understand why this situation spiraled the way it did, you have to rewind. Because the DNA rumor didn't come out of nowhere, it came from a chain reaction of legal filings, emotional public moments, and already fragile relationships colliding at the worst possible time. Let's start with what's actually verified. On April 9th, 2026, TMZ obtained a February 25th court order tied to Cardi B and Offset's ongoing divorce case. In that filing, Offset requested DNA testing for 2 children. The judge made a split ruling. One request was approved. The request to test the newborn the baby, widely understood to be Cardi and Stefon Diggs' son born in November 2025, was denied. That distinction matters legally. Because Cardi and Offset were still technically married when the baby was born, Offset has what's called a presumption of paternity under family law. But the court clearly drew a line. The newborn tied to Cardi's relationship with Diggs was not approved for testing, which means no court-ordered DNA test was conducted for the newborn. No official results exist in the public record, but the internet doesn't read court documents. It reads headlines. And timing made everything worse. Because just days before TMZ published the filing, Offset had been shot outside a Florida casino on April 6, 2026. He was hospitalized, released days later, and then boom, the DNA request went public. So now imagine the emotional climate. Cardi, mid-divorce, fresh off a public breakup with Diggs, on tour, trying to co-parent, and suddenly seeing paternity questions trending again. Diggs, already dealing with breakup rumors after Super Bowl weekend drama, reports claiming Cardi was upset about trust issues, speculation about other women at the game. Offset, recovering from a gunshot wound, legal paperwork surfacing publicly, old Instagram, my kid LOL controversy resurfacing again. This wasn't calm water, this was gasoline waiting for a match. And the match came on April 11th. A viral tweet claimed Cardi B went live crying, saying a DNA test proved Offset was the father of the newborn and that Diggs left her. The tweet spread like wildfire. Screenshots, reaction videos, think pieces, debates. But here's the problem. No credible outlet, not TMZ, not Rolling Stone, not Complex, confirmed that such DNA results existed. because the court had denied the test in the first place. So there were no results to leak, no confirmation to react to. The viral claim moved faster than the paperwork. And here's where the background gets even more layered. Cardi and Diggs' relationship timeline was already messy. They reportedly began dating in late 2024, confirmed publicly in early 2025. Cardi announced she was pregnant with Diggs' child in September 2025 during a CBS Mornings interview. She gave birth in November 2025, all while still legally married to Offset during the divorce process. That overlapping timeline made it easy for doubt to trend, and doubt spreads faster than correction. By the time the viral tweet hit, people were already emotionally primed to believe the worst. But the verified court record says something different. The newborn's DNA test request was denied, meaning there are no official DNA results. There is no confirmed proof of Offset being the father, and Diggs had nothing factual to react to. So what did Diggs actually do? He showed up at Cardi's Washington, D.C. tour stop with his mother and brother. He watched the show. Afterward, witnesses saw Cardi walk directly to his car. They left together. That's the reaction. Not rage, not distance, not disappearance. Presence. And that's why this story is bigger than a viral tweet. Because it exposes something uncomfortable. The internet created a dramatic conclusion before the legal facts existed. And now the real tension isn't about paternity. It's about trust. Trust between Cardi and Offset. Trust between Cardi and Diggs. And trust between fans and the headlines they consume. But here's where things get even more intense. Because the biggest conflict wasn't the court order, it was Cardi's own emotional posts. And that's where the first twist hits hard. Here's where everything turned combustible. Because even though the court denied the DNA test for the newborn, meaning no official results existed, the emotional climate made the viral claim feel believable. And perception is everything in celebrity chaos. Let's talk about Cardi's post. After the DNA filing went public, Cardi took to social media and wrote, "I should have never let him hit again." That single line detonated the timeline, because suddenly people started connecting dots that may or may not have existed. Was she talking about Offset? Was she talking about reconciliation? Was she hinting at overlapping timelines? That post didn't confirm anything, but emotionally, it sounded like regret. And regret fuels speculation. Now layer that with the Super Bowl drama. Just weeks earlier, Cardi and Diggs were already rumored to be on shaky ground. Reports suggested Cardi was upset about trust issues. There were whispers Diggs brought another woman, allegedly another mother of his child, to the Super Bowl. Whether fully accurate or not, the perception alone hurt. Sources told outlets, Cardi pulled back because she felt she couldn't trust him. Diggs was reportedly trying to win her back. She was reportedly putting up a wall. So by the time the DNA filing resurfaced publicly, their relationship was already fragile. Now imagine how the viral tweet hit in that context. It claimed, Cardi went live crying. DNA results showed Offset was the father. Diggs left her. That narrative felt cinematic. It fit the chaos. It fit the heartbreak. It fit the legal drama. It fit the overlapping timeline rumors. Even though the verified court order clearly denied the newborn's DNA test. And here's the first twist that changed everything. Stefon Diggs didn't disappear. He didn't post a cryptic caption. He didn't unfollow Cardi. He didn't remove photos. He didn't issue a denial. He showed up at her concert in Washington, D.C. with his mother, with his brother, in public, in full view. And after the show, Cardi walked straight to his car. They drove off together. That is not the behavior of a man who just discovered he isn't the father. That's not body language of betrayal. That's presence, which exposes the twist. The rumor spread faster than the paperwork. And Diggs' reaction wasn't emotional, it was silent and visible. Meanwhile, Offset was recovering from a shooting just days before the filing became public. So all three people were dealing with emotional pressure at once. Offset legal tension plus physical recovery. Cardi divorce plus breakup plus tour. Diggs relationship instability plus fatherhood rumors. That emotional storm made the viral tweet land harder. But here's the real conflict. Offset's legal request, even though partially denied, signaled doubt. And doubt, when public, is humiliating. Even if the judge denied the newborn's test request, the act of requesting it reignited questions. So while there were no DNA results for Diggs to react to, there was tension. Intention is enough for headlines. But here's the second twist lurking beneath all of this. The court also barred both parties from making disparaging remarks publicly, meaning even if there was drama behind closed doors, they legally can't explode online about it. So what does Diggs do? He avoids words. He chooses presence. And that silence might be louder than any statement. But the story doesn't stop there, because the internet's reaction phase created a second wave of chaos that may have been even more damaging than the rumor itself. This is where the narrative went from messy to completely out of control. Because once that viral tweet claiming DNA results proved Offset was the father started spreading, it didn't just trend, it multiplied. Reaction videos popped up within hours. Commentary channels declared Diggs humiliated. Threads accused Cardi of overlapping timelines. Some even claimed this was karma. But here's the shocking reveal buried underneath the noise. There were no DNA results. The court had denied the request for the newborn, meaning legally, procedurally, factually, there was nothing to confirm. Yet the internet moved like there was proof in hand. And this is the dangerous part of viral culture. Emotion outran documentation. Now watch how the escalation played out. Step 1. Court filing becomes public. Step 2. Old "my kid LOL" Instagram story resurfaces. Step 3. Cardi posts emotional message. Step 4. Viral tweet claims live stream confession. Step 5. People assume Diggs left her. But Step 6. Diggs appears at her show. With his family. That's not subtle. That's intentional optics. Because bringing your mother to a concert isn't random. It signals support. It signals solidarity. It signals you're not hiding. And then Cardi walking straight to his car after the show? That's choreography without words. And here's what makes that moment powerful. If the viral claim were true, if Diggs had just discovered he wasn't the father, the emotional fallout would look very different. Distance, unfollowing, statements, lawyers. Instead, silence, presence, private exit together. Now, here's where it gets psychologically layered. The court order also barred both Cardi and Offset from making disparaging public remarks. So, legally, public explosions are limited, which means if tension exists, it's being managed quietly. And Diggs' reaction, or lack thereof, might not be weakness. It might be strategy. Because reacting emotionally would validate the rumor. Not reacting forces the rumor to collapse on its own. And collapse it did slowly, as fact-checkers pointed out, there were no verified DNA results. But by then, the emotional damage had already spread. Fans were debating loyalty, paternity, trust, overlap, reconciliation, all based on a test that never happened. Now, here's the most interesting layer of this escalation. Offset requested DNA testing for 2 children. One was approved, one denied. That split ruling created ambiguity. Ambiguity creates doubt. Doubt creates drama. And drama spreads. But here's the truth that survived the chaos. No court-approved DNA test for the newborn. No confirmed results. No public statement from Diggs. Visible reconciliation signals at the DC show. So the escalation wasn't about proof. It was about perception. And perception nearly rewrote the narrative overnight. But now comes the bigger question. If Diggs stayed silent publicly and showed support privately, what does that mean for Cardi? And how are fans reacting now that the facts don't match the viral story? Because the public reaction phase might be even more divided than the rumor phase. Once the initial wave of shock passed and fact-check threads started circulating, the internet split into 2 loud camps. And neither side was backing down. On one side were the people who ran with the viral tweet immediately. They were convinced. Diggs got played. Offset won. The timeline overlapped. Even after it became clear that the newborn's DNA test had been denied by the court, some refused to walk it back. Because once people emotionally invest in a narrative, it's hard to reverse. On the other side, a second wave emerged. The Show Me the Paperwork crowd. They started posting screenshots of the actual court order summary. DNA request denied for the newborn. No official results exist. And suddenly the energy shifted. Now the conversation wasn't, did Diggs leave? It became, why did everyone believe a tweet over a court document? Blog pages began quietly deleting earlier posts. Commentary channels softened their titles. Some reframed it as developing story. Because once the DC concert footage spread, Diggs with his mom and brother, Cardi walking to his car, the "he left her" narrative collapsed fast. That visual was powerful. You can debate tweets, you can question anonymous sources, but you can't argue with public presence. And that's when the backlash turned toward the blogs. Fans started calling out platforms for running with unverified claims. Y'all don't read court orders. Stop spreading fake DNA results. Receipts matter. But here's where it gets layered. Even though the DNA rumor wasn't verified, the tension between Cardi and Offset is real. The divorce is ongoing. The paternity request, even if partially denied, signals doubt. And doubt itself creates headlines. So the industry reaction became cautious. No credible outlet confirmed the viral DNA result claim. Instead, they focused on what was verifiable: the split court ruling, Offset's legal standing due to presumption of paternity during marriage, Diggs attending the concert. And that changed the tone. Instead of Diggs embarrassed, headlines shifted to Diggs shows support, Cardi and Diggs spark reconciliation rumors, DNA rumor not supported by court record. Now, the fan war has transformed into something else. Team Offset supporters argue that even requesting the test says something. Team Diggs supporters point out the judge denied the newborn request. Team Cardi supporters say she's juggling public pressure from two men at once. And in the middle of all this, the newborn child, who legally, as of now, has no court-ordered DNA test results attached publicly. Here's the uncomfortable takeaway. The internet wrote a dramatic ending before the legal story finished unfolding. And when the facts didn't support the viral version, the energy pivoted to damage control. But the tension isn't gone. Because the divorce isn't finalized, the approved DNA test for the other child remains pending. And any new filing could reignite speculation instantly. So now we arrive at the final twist. Because the biggest reaction wasn't what Diggs said, it's what he didn't say. And that silence may be the most calculated move of all. Here's the twist nobody expected. The most powerful reaction in this entire situation was silence. Stefon Diggs did not tweet. He did not deny. He did not defend. He did not accuse. He showed up. That's it. While the internet screamed about DNA results that don't exist in the public record, Diggs made one move. He attended Cardi's D.C. show with his mother and brother. He stayed visible. And he left with her. That is controlled energy. Because here's what reacting publicly would have done. It would have validated the rumor. It would have turned an unverified tweet into a formal confrontation. Instead, he let the paperwork speak. And the paperwork says this: the judge denied Offset's request for a DNA test on the newborn. No court-ordered test was conducted. No results exist publicly, meaning the viral claim had no documented foundation. But here's where the tension remains. Offset's other DNA request for another child was approved. That legal thread is still active. And that's the time bomb. Because even though the newborn test was denied, the fact that paternity was brought into the divorce at all signals distrust. Distrust between Cardi and Offset, residual tension from a 9-year relationship, and legal complexities that don't disappear overnight. Now layer that with Cardi's emotional posts, the Super Bowl breakup rumors, Offset's shooting days before the filing went public. This wasn't a calm situation to begin with. It was pressure stacked on pressure. So Diggs' silence may not just be maturity, it may be calculation. Because in high-profile custody and divorce battles, words can become evidence. And the court order also bars both Cardi and Offset from making disparaging public remarks. So public restraint may not just be personal choice, it may be legal strategy. Here's the cliffhanger no one can answer yet. If the approved DNA test for the other child produces new developments, will that reignite speculation around the newborn again? If Cardi and Diggs reconcile fully, does that shut the door on this narrative? Or will the next court filing bring another wave of headlines? Because one thing is clear, the internet tried to close this chapter prematurely, but the legal process isn't done. And as long as the divorce continues, so does the possibility of new motions, new filings, new drama. Right now, Diggs' reaction is quiet alignment. But quiet doesn't mean resolved. It means controlled. And controlled tension is often the calm before the next headline. So now the question isn't just, how did Stefon Diggs react? The real question is, did the internet react too fast? Because let's recap what's actually verified. The court denied Offset's request for a DNA test on the newborn. No official DNA results exist in the public record. Diggs showed up publicly at Cardi's concert with his family. They left together. That's what we know. Everything else came from a viral tweet that spread faster than the facts. So I want to hear from you. Do you think Diggs handled this the right way by staying silent and letting actions speak? Or should he have addressed the rumor directly to shut it down? Do you believe Offset requesting the DNA test, even though it was denied for the newborn, shows deeper distrust? Or was it just legal strategy during a messy divorce? And what about Cardi? Is she navigating an impossible situation between two high-profile men? Or is the public chaos partly self-inflicted? Drop your real thoughts in the comments, not just Team Cardi or Team Offset. Break down your reasoning. Because this story isn't over. The divorce is still active. One DNA request remains approved. And as long as court documents keep surfacing, headlines will follow. If you want updates the moment any new filing drops, if you want the facts separated from the viral fiction, hit like, subscribe, turn notifications on. Because in situations like this, the loudest reaction isn't always the real one, and the next headline could change everything.